Хөрхөн охид trap сонсон. Trap сонсон, trap донсон. Түүний сонсдог хөгжим дур булаан. Дагаж дуулан дур булаа мууруулаа.
Everybody, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted podcast. It's me, Adam Hunter. I'm here with Greg Romero Wilson.
Hey, that's right. We got the new brand happening. Yeah. That was a tough transition for you.
It was.
Because you've known me for so long as the Greg Wilson, like almost 20 years.
Don't get used to me calling you that, Greg Romero.
I'm not. Exactly. Listen, so many clubs still are like, can we still just use the Greg Wilson thing? And I'm like, yes, that's fine.
I thought about going back to Adam Greenberg, but at this point I can't. And everyone's gonna be like, well, why did Adam, now he wants to be more Jewish? Or like, it's right,
exactly.
It's just gonna work against me, you know? So at this point I'm like, people know me as Adam Hunter.
And there doesn't seem to be any advantage to going back to Greenberg at this point.
No, but then I got to answer people when they're always like, why did you go to Adam Hunter? And I got to be like, well, which is the story. It was like, I was Adam Greenberg, and then my dad was like very convincing to the, like, you need a stage name because he thinks the whole world's anti-Semitic and that people in Iowa aren't going to go see Adam Greenberg and this, and
he's not wrong entirely.
Well, I think it was more back in the day. It was before this new wave of anti-Semitism, at least.
Back in the day, and then now again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden now again, it's also true.
And then I worked with kids who had cancer at the Ronald McDonald House, and there was a kid named Hunter that I became really good friends with. So I'm like, well, if I take his last name, and he went through like 9 rounds of chemo, really sweet kid, then that'll remind me what's important every time I hear Hunter.
That's great.
That was why I did it. But
it's a good story.
Yeah, but then I got to like explain to people all the time.
Remember that time that we were going somewhere and they booked the travel for you and they booked it as Adam Hunter instead of under Adam Greenberg?
Yeah.
You had to go and like go through this whole thing with the airline, like explaining it, trying to get it back to your name.
And then there was another time where like, back in the day, like I forgot my room key, and then this girl was gonna come home with me back to my place, and then like the hotel didn't believe, so they completely cockblocked me. It was a whole thing.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, but whatever. It'd probably save me from getting a disease. Anyway, I want to thank our sponsor, Speedweed. Listen, people, marijuana in California is legal, and there's no reason you have to leave your house to do it, okay? Just get it delivered, and Speedweed has you covered. They have marijuana, they have edibles, they have CBD, they have marijuana beef jerky, they have THC sex lube. You name it, they have it. They will come to you, mention Roasted for $10 off, orders of $100 or more, and they're great people. So I highly recommend them. So yes, definitely get Speedweed. Follow them at Speedweed. And make your life easier and more convenient. That's all I want. That's all I want to do is help. I want to help everybody. I had a crazy night last night. So my wife, we have a new baby, obviously, and between the baby and like juggling the career and everything else, I haven't been giving her the attention that she deserves, according to her. According to me,
I'm not gonna disagree with her.
Oh well, you're not there, fucker. Okay, so I'm trying my best, but I could see how sometimes when she says to me like, "Yeah, you just care about MMA, wrestling, comedy, and the baby," and I don't want her to feel left out. I love her to death. She's the greatest thing that happened to me. I love her more than so. Like yesterday, she was like, "Hey, there's a concert. I got free tickets for 98 Degrees tonight at the Wiltern, right? Do you want to go? I have a show at the Dime Bar, which was the last Monday night. We're just back to one night a week, by the way.
Okay.
So
is it now just on Mondays or just on
Tuesdays? Just on
Tuesdays?
Tuesdays.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll get someone to run it. I always take you to my concerts, whether it's, 80s Hairband Nation or
She puts
90s hip-hop.
You can I go through this with my girl as well.
We'll go to 98 Degrees. So I'm trying to listen to songs that I know them over they got a couple of good songs, It's not really, I'm not really the biggest fan, but there was a couple, like the one song of Hardest Thing I Ever. All right. Anyway, so that was the big song.
I don't know any of them, but I'm going to agree with you.
So we get there, and it's the 98 Degrees Christmas Spectacular. So they're just singing Christmas songs.
Well, that's good. That's better. That's actually way better, right?
I don't know. The only
essentially at this point just an a cappella group.
Yeah, right. But at least I know the Christmas songs, right?
That's what I'm saying.
But
it's way better than their actual
was singing
music.
I'm dreaming of a way. I'm dreaming of getting the fuck out of this concert. It was one of those things. Being there was the hardest thing I ever had to do. I was like,
there it is.
Santa Claus is coming. I better be coming after this. But no, they were good. They were talented. Nick Lachey and his and they but there was kids there screaming, about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and they're like, oh, they did a couple of their hits. Which
so essentially, the moms who had been in love with them
Brought their kids.
brought the kids. Exactly.
Yeah.
Essentially, the only way they could justify, they probably bought the ticket for the husband, and then the last minute, the husband was like, "Hey, why don't you take the kid?
Yeah.
Why don't you and the kid go? You have a good time. I'll just stay here, masturbate to internet porn, and watch some fights."
Right.
Right.
So that, or the football game that was like
The football game,
75.
which was unbelievable. It was so great.
Yeah, I like missed it because I was watching 98 Degrees Christmas Spectacular. You
missed a hell of a game.
And my wife's like, I didn't know that it was the Christmas. That was just them in concert. I go, let me see the ticket. Let me see the flyer. It said 98 Degrees Christmas. But it didn't say they're going to only sing Christmas songs.
Right.
It just
you
said,
just figured it's their Christmas tour.
No,
Maybe they mix them in, but
I would have figured that out if I had seen it. She's the one that was emailed to her.
Yeah.
But it was still fun.
it was free anyway, right?
It was free,
Yeah.
and she had fun, and it's all that matters. And I had fun being with her. And my dad had to babysit the baby.
Listen, of all the 98 Degrees shows, okay, the Christmas one is probably, you got lucky, my man.
And they were put on a good show. So how are you doing? You got back from New York?
Yeah, man. Woo!
How was New York?
It was crazy. It was a true New York trip. And, it was just great. I got to reconnect not just with so many people, but with New York comedy and what it's like to actually do comedy for the sake of being funny and actually have an audience there that's there to enjoy comedy. And it was just all so genuine and real, versus here, which seems all crazy and fake.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, it's like, okay, here we are. We're all trying to impress these same 3 clubs, maybe 4 if you include the Ha-Ha. But really, people are all out the Laugh Factory and the Improv and the Comedy Store. And everyone's got to sit there and try and vie for the same spots. And they're all booking the same 3 people over and over again. And none of it matters. None of the comedy matters. It's all about who has a TV show right now, who got a special right now, who does Netflix or 3 Arts or somebody believe in right now. So none of it has anything to do with actual comedy.
Yeah, that's why I don't play that game. Being from New York and a New York comic, like, I don't get it. Like, I go to sometimes the Comedy Store or whatever, and I see all these comics sitting around talking. They're all sitting on walls, sitting on the fences, bullshitting, smoking weed. And I'm like, did you guys get up tonight? No, I'm just showing face.
Just hanging out, yeah.
Hanging out. I'm like, I would rather be at dispensary show doing comedy. I'd rather do at a coffee house working on my craft than hanging out and just bullshitting. And I understand that there's a networking element of it, maybe, but I feel like that when it comes down to it, it's like, well, what are we doing this for?
That's the thing. And in New York, there's so many clubs, not to mention bar shows and coffee shop shows and Brooklyn shows, all these things happening. There's no time to just hang out and bullshit. You got to go to spot, which was so fucking great, so refreshing to just be like, I got to get out of here. I got another spot. Nope, got to go. Got another spot. Got to go. And like the first night, oh my God. First of all, I landed, and the weather was supposed to be fairly mild. Okay. And then the night before I'm about to leave, there was like chance of flurries for Wednesday, which I was like, whatever. By the time I'm at the airport on Wednesday, it was Thursday was going to be a snowstorm.
Wow.
But it's too late. I've already packed my heavier of the light jackets.
Can you just snort all the snow up?
Believe me, I tried.
Right.
So, but now I get there and a snowstorm starts, which I actually really enjoyed. I loved being in New York in the snow, but it really turned into a snowstorm.
Right.
That turned into a sleet storm. So everything was wet and mushy and everything. And of course, I don't have my feet are getting all wet. And that's the thing about New York. You can't just run home and change shoes. You don't have shoes in a car. You know what I mean? Like you have to make a choice. Either half of your day is now wasted to go back home, or you got to buy some fucking shoes. So I had to buy a pair of snow boots because I had no snow boots. And then I had to buy like heavier sweaters because I was going to buy heavier sweaters or buy another parka. And I already own a parka, which I should have brought but didn't bring because, again, originally up until the night before, it looked like it was going to be pretty mild.
Right.
So I ended up buying all this extra socks. I bought 2 sweaters. Because I kept freezing my ass off. I bought a snow hat. I bought a hat, that covers your ears and shit. So I bought all that stuff, which was fine. I loved it. I was having a ball, man. But here's what I really forgot. I forgot that in New York, it doesn't matter how wasted you get. You still have 2 trains, 6 blocks to walk, and 4 flights of stairs before you can relax. It doesn't matter how drunk you are, how heavy your stuff is.
You couldn't get into a cab?
No, you can, but I mean, I was staying in Bay Ridge. It's a $65 cab ride from the city.
Who are you staying with?
I was staying with Joe Handley. So, because he's got a big place, I have my own room there.
Oh,
you know, it's not like sleeping. And Joe and somebody, Damien Samarco goes, "Are you kidding me? Fuck that. Do you want to just crash on my couch?" I'm like, "You have 2 young children. I'm not sleeping on your couch with children."
That's
around.
the only problem. When everyone's like, "When are you coming back to New York?" My biggest issue is that, like, when I go to, Ohio or Florida, they put me up in a hotel.
Yeah.
I'm in a hotel the whole week. In New York, you're staying on couches.
Right.
And I hate staying on people's couches.
So I can't do it anymore. I'm too old. My back can't take it. And I need some privacy. I need privacy. I'm not going to be just laying out in front of people. No, not going to happen. So Joe Handley has a 3-bedroom apartment in Bay Ridge. It's a big ass apartment, like 3,000 square.
I used to do Gladys's with him, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. We've known him forever.
Yeah.
And so he lets me have one of the rooms. He let me have it for free, I mean, we're very close friends. So, he let me stay there because he Airbnbs these rooms out normally when his kids aren't in town.
How's he doing comedy-wise?
So, comedy-wise, he actually just got back into comedy like a year ago, right?
Yeah.
And... okay, so apparently, I don't know if I could talk about it.
Tell me. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you off the air.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, here was the strangest thing about the whole trip, though.
Right.
I can't tell you how many guys I saw that were still essentially doing the same jokes from 12 years ago.
Ooh.
And these are good guys, really talented, good guys that are pretty far up the ladder. And I'm like, wow.
Well, that's the thing about New York, though, audiences. A lot of times it's tourists that come to the shows.
Right.
So you can get away with that.
Yeah. I was surprised. And I'm talking a lot of people.
Yeah, I found that, like, in New York, when I was in New York, I had a really tight 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But in LA, when you go headline, you have to have a tight 45.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I could headline when I was...
Well, there's definitely no... I mean, I guess you probably still have some of those 20 jokes from that set.
I do a lot of one-liners, so you get like a joke or two. Yeah,
Kind of just something that builds like a catalog.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that when people watch my comedy on YouTube and go, "Oh, you did that joke 6..." I'm like, no, I just didn't put the new ones on fucking YouTube yet. Give me
They want you to put everything on YouTube.
Yeah, so you can watch
well, then nothing's going to be a fucking surprise when you come see me at the club.
Yeah.
People are always like, you got to put a lot more shit on YouTube. And I do. But it always comes down to, do I want them to already see this joke before I show up in their town to do this joke?
Yeah, I know. And then you're like, well, I'm playing for people that haven't seen it. It's hard. It's hard. I mean, it's weird, especially if you're a joke writer versus like a storyteller. A lot of times.
Well, it's still just as bad of a storyteller because once that story's on the YouTube, now that story's burned.
Yeah.
Now the second you launch it, they're like, "Oh, this is that story about." I mean, they know it.
I did a show.
Comedy is based on surprise. One of its biggest elements is surprise, and you take that element away, and you lose a lot.
No, so like I did a cruise ship recently, and like you have to do 3 different 30-minute shows.
Right.
And then you do. People come back. So the other comic's like, I have 5 different 30-minute shows. You're like, oh, okay. But a lot of times their shows are stretched out, like they're doing other, like a dance contest or something.
Sure, right.
Some of them are telling, or like singing songs or something. Sure. But the people get really annoyed when they go, oh, I saw this show yesterday. So like I'm working on getting like another 30-minute, like just because I have an hour and a half of material. I'm more than I have 2 hours of material, but I have to get 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Which is fucking a lot. Anyway, I did a show on Sunday at a apartment complex. This guy books apartment shows, in lounges.
Yes.
They're actually good shows.
Yeah,
they're funny though. But
he recently signed me up too.
I'm just like, fuck it. I'm like, tomorrow I'm doing the elevator, and then I'm doing the parking garage, and then I'm just gonna call you up on the phone just telling you jokes. It was essentially that, but it was good. It was actually a fun thing. And then the Friday was good. I did a show recently where it was a big club. I'm not gonna say the club, but this host comes on. And he sits down on the stage off the bat, which I'm like, really? Like, people are like spending $35 to come to the show, and you're sitting on the stool. I don't understand if you're like a big overweight person.
Right, I was going to say, some guys that kind of have to.
No. And then he's like, within 3 minutes, he goes, what do you guys want to talk about? And I'm like, really, bro?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't feel like trying. I don't want to do my jokes, which I kind of understand that happens a lot. But to turn the odds and be like, what do you want to talk about? That, to me, that is being lazy.
They just came to see you.
Yeah.
And all these it's like these hosts that I used to work with that were like, I talked to Tom Dreesen recently, and Tom Dreesen's, a legend in comedy. Then The Tonight Show 50 times, and Letterman 65 times.
Sure.
Tour with Frank Sinatra.
Yes.
And he's like...
Guy is a legend.
And he's like, as a host, you want to make it seem like it's a special occasion that these people are here.
Yeah.
But I've had other hosts, a guy at the Ha Ha I used to work with, that was like, he would never give people credits. He goes, they don't know you. fuck it. I'm like, no, just because you don't have credits doesn't mean that you don't have to give our credits.
Right.
He would just bring you
up.
up.
Some of our credits count.
Yeah.
They're good credit. Like for you want to mention that you've been on the Tonight Show twice. This is an important fucking thing to mention.
Anyway, do you watch the fights on Saturday?
I watched some of them.
All right, let's talk about that. So, Ponzinibbio, Neil Magny. What?
Can we pause?
What's up?
I gotta go pee.
All right.
Can we pause for 1 second?
Yes. Yeah, we'll pause. All right, so Ponzinibbio, Neil Magny. That fight...
Ponzinibbio,
isn't it?
Ponzinibbio?
I think it's...
I thought it was not Ponzinibbio.
I think it's Ponzinibbio, but maybe you're right. But it looked like Magny just got hit once and was like, he looked like he was never in that fight.
I think it was just that leg kick thing. That just disabled him so fast.
I don't know, man. It looked like he got hit a couple times and he was like, it's just like he lost confidence early and was like playing defense the whole time, backing up and being chased around.
Because the leg got hurt early. I mean, which was surprising. It didn't look like enough to hurt the leg that fast. But from the second, maybe in the first one, he started limping around, which maybe it had been a little damaged from his camp, and so he just hit on it and it just immediately, but he was dead. That leg, it was that lower leg, which you have to admit, it seemed like on that card, there were a lot more lower leg kicks than you're used to. Like usually leg kicks are up more around the thigh, but everyone was going for the calf and it seemed to be incredibly effective.
I don't know. I just seemed like it was a matter of time from the 10 seconds in. I was like, it's a matter of time where this guy gets knocked out. And I'm like, look, and I've seen a guy back up and catch a guy coming in and hurt that guy. And all of a sudden you're like, wow, that was a great, check hook or counter. Right. But man, I mean, I'm watching a fight with someone else. It's in round one. I'm like, it's only a matter of time. This dude is going to get knocked out, and it's going to be ugly. And then
see, I didn't feel that way because one, he still had the reach advantage, and two, I mean,
he wasn't using it. He was backing up against the cage.
Well, that's because he couldn't lean on that front leg from the beginning of the first round on. But we've seen him survive such incredible damage before
1,000%
in the Hector
correct.
Lombard fight. Like, and the commentators even mentioned that fight. I'm sitting there thinking it like, but I've seen him come back from worse, and they were like, we've seen him, and so it seemed like it was still possible, but Ponzinibbio, and it also seemed like the crowd had been saving all of their energy for that fight.
Well, because he's from there.
Totally, but that's what I'm saying. Like all the other fights, they were so fucking quiet. You could hear all the coaching from the sides. Like the audience they would applaud and stuff like that. But I mean, it was like they were just saving it for that fight.
Well,
and for that fight,
I'll give you this. He's never out of a fight. Neil Magny's a guy that you want to go to war with. But if you need someone to, have your back in battle. But it just seemed like it was only a matter of time. I'm watching that fight going, it's only a matter of time before he gets knocked out. And that's what happened. And yet it
went on for quite some time after that.
Because he could take a punch. The guy's got some chin. And he's tough as fuck.
Although I think it might have been in a headbutt that he cut the guy's eye.
But, I mean, that was crazy. I felt bad for Elkins. I like Elkins. I do comedy with his wife.
That's a guy that I was like, oh, this is going to be over before.
Really? Because Elkins is the guy, like, you watch the Michael Johnson fight, he came back in the second. He's the guy who's never out of a fight.
We're talking about the same exact dynamic.
Yeah.
We're talking about the exact same
dynamic. We're talking about heart and
for one
chin.
guy, you said it wasn't. We're just on different. Because for me, the Darren thing
but he wasn't. But Darren wasn't backing up, but Darren wasn't backing up, and the other guy, Lamas, wasn't headhunting.
But Lamas was absolutely not taking damage, and Damage was taking all the damage. So I mean, it was pretty lopsided to me from the get go, and I didn't ever really. I mean, I appreciate Elkin's heart, and he was coming at him, and he was still fighting him. I mean, he was still moving forward, but at the end of the day, he wasn't connecting that much, and the other guy was really just
Elkins
taking him apart.
Elkins has amazing wrestling. Unfortunately, Lamas does too. They both, I think, have college wrestling, and they're both super tough guys.
Lamas looked fantastic.
He did look fantastic. Also on that card, I'll tell you, Johnny Walker against Khalil Roundtree. That was insane.
Dude, I mean, Johnny Walker, have you seen him before?
No.
I've never seen him before either. And first of all, when he started like joking at the beginning, doing like taunting him with the, ooh, you kicked my leg, I was like, this is exactly what a new guy does before he gets knocked the fuck out. I was like, this dumbass is showboating. He ain't earned nothing. He doesn't know who he's up against. This guy's a veteran. This is exactly the kind of showboating that gets you knocked the fuck out. That's what I'm thinking at that point.
Yeah, I was not thinking that. I was thinking that if he did get knocked out, it would definitely be on one of those, like, when fighters taunting goes wrong.
Totally, exactly.
It was definitely one of those things. But he knew what he was doing. I mean, Khalil Roundtree, is a great fighter, a great striker too. I mean, primarily known for his striking. And this dude's elbow, I mean, he's going to be a tough out for anybody.
And you could hear it throughout the arena. Like, I'm watching it on my iPad, right? And Summer's sitting next to me. She's not watching it. She's doing her thing. And he connected so hard, she goes, "Ooh, that sounded bad."
That was
that second elbow that put him out.
It's like when I was at,
that second one was so loud.
Reminds me of when I was at the Overeem Hunt fight.
Yeah.
It was just sort of a boring fight until Overeem connected with this knee that just Hunt just woke up yesterday from. And and the whole arena is just like, and I look at my wife and I'm like, "Did you see that?" And she's ordering dresses from China. And I'm like, and then I got mad. I'm like, "Babe, if you're not going to watch the fights, there are so many people I can take that would rather be here." And I understand.
Right.
And then next thing I was like, "Okay." And she goes, "I love this fight," and it hadn't even started yet. I was like, "Come on, babe, what are we doing
the
here?"
Neil Magny knockout when he got knocked out, like it was. I mean, because he went face first into the canvas, like out cold. I had to show Summer. I was like, "Summer, you got to see," because she likes the really good knockouts. So I was like, "You got to see this. This was pretty amazing."
It was like Rocky IV when Apollo hit Creed. Creed.
Yeah,
and just douche.
Yeah.
Are you gonna see the new Creed?
Of course. I've
Creed
seen all the rest. Why would I stop now?
You know what's funny? I even liked Rocky V. I actually like Rocky V, I would say, better than Rocky II. Like, in some ways.
You're out of your mind.
No, the way I think it goes,
my God.
4 was my favorite. 4 was against a Russian.
Number 3 versus Mr. T.
Yeah, maybe. That was my second. To me, it goes 4, 1, 3, and then 2 and 5. 2, he spent so much time in the hospital. He spent like 30 minutes in the hospital.
Yeah, but he wins.
Yeah, I know, but it was like too much in the hospital. Like
I don't know.
And then Rocky Balboa was good.
Rocky Balboa's not bad.
But everyone...
The thing about Rocky 3, when you watch it now, you realize how little script he actually wrote. They have like 17-minute montages in that of him just like driving his car and thinking about... I mean, there is so much filler in Rocky 3. I didn't realize, but I watched it again recently, and I was like, they wrote like 10 pages of script.
But Mr. T was the best in that.
That's it. But Mr. T's so great in it.
Yeah.
That you want this fight to happen so bad.
I like it when he tells Adrian, come go with a real man. You want a real man like this.
Yeah. Come on to my house, man. I'll show you a real man treat you right. It was like, come on. Oh, my God.
What if she would have went with him?
But Rocky...
how funny if it was...
that would have been a much more modern drama. You have to remember, the original Rocky won Best Picture of the Year.
One was good. I thought 2 was a little slow. But 5 was good, except the fight didn't happen in the ring. Right. That was it. That was the problem with 5. Yeah. Like if he would have actually fought Tommy Gunn in the ring. That's what about
Tommy. Yeah.
And then Tommy getting AIDS didn't help either.
That didn't help at all.
No.
He didn't handle fame well at all.
No. He was like
Fame's a tough drug.
You ever watch the 30 for 30 on Tommy Morrison?
No.
Oh, if you have an hour to kill, this dude, he was like a gypsy. Him and his family they pulled him out of high school and they just walked around the high schools fighting people. Him and his brothers and dad. And then, like, when he became, like, famous, like, he had, like...
They're from Oklahoma, weren't they?
Yeah, and he was banging, like, 20 girls a week, or, like, he was married to 2 different people at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, he just...
Like I said, he did not handle fame well at all.
But he was a good fighter. Like, he beat George Foreman in real life.
Yeah.
The same George Foreman that knocked out Michael Moore afterwards. Like, he beat Foreman. He beat some good guys.
Yeah.
His fights with, I forgot who he fought. Somebody that was, like, a really, really good fight. The guy that Tyson beat. One of the Tyson's guys.
Which one? Mitch Green?
I think Razor Ruddock.
Razor Riddick.
Those were good fights.
Yeah.
Like Tommy Gunn actually was a good fighter.
Yeah.
But
no, he had a chance of really being something. But yeah, he.
And then he was in denial that he had HIV, and like, thing is, we're really fucked up people with HIV. Like even like Charlie Sheen, like where'd he go?
Yeah.
Remember, like when people get AIDS, everyone's just
hopefully
like,
somewhere, convalescing and spending time with his children.
I'm just saying, yeah. Anyway, well, I digress. What were we talking about? The fights. I'll tell you who I was happy for. Cynthia Cavillo.
Yeah, took her down. These are literally the only fights I saw, by the way, were these ones, and then the Cynthia fight because I wanted to see that, and she did. She took her down, and I remember, and the girl tapped, and he didn't stop the fight.
Yeah,
and then she went to like an emergency tap, and then he fight. I mean, she got that hook in there so good. Woo!
She's been on the podcast for her. She got suspended for marijuana for like a year.
Bullshit.
I mean, people are literally smoking pot now. Sean O'Malley is smoking pot on camera.
Yeah.
And the Diaz brothers on camera smoking weed. Half these guys have THC and weed sponsorships. And CBD sponsorships.
It's not a performance enhancing drug, you know, and it is a pain medication.
She really got fucked.
I mean, they should really take this off of their ban list of substances, especially if you live in a state where it's legal.
And she really got zero. She's a girl with zero. She didn't come from any wrestling background.
Right.
She joined a gym because she got mad at her boyfriend for cheating on her.
Right.
And now she's like and she's killing people.
She looked great. And, you know, that other girl looked a lot bigger than her, the Brazilian girl. She looked a lot, and Brazilian. So I was just like, ooh, this is dangerous.
She was the underdog. Yeah. I don't know why. She lost one fight to Carla Esparza, which you could argue she won. I don't know what people are sleeping on Cynthia Calvillo. And she's actually, you ever hang out with her? She's a pretty attractive girl. Very attractive.
Not yet, but anyway, she seemed, know what I mean?
Very attractive. Not pretty.
What was she screaming when she was walking around the ring afterwards? Like,
I don't know. She was
it was
happy.
something like, "What now?" or something like that.
I like her attitude.
Listen, me too. Or how about that? Or something. She just kept screaming. Listen. She was a good winner. She was a good fight, and I was proud of her.
So in Bellator the night before from Israel,
right?
You watched that?
And I had watched. Unfortunately, that was all I had time for.
A couple good fights. Pitbull won his fight. It was actually a really good fight. Phil Davis lost. Which was crazy. First of all, he was like not even the main event. They had Ryan Couture as the co-main event, not Phil Davis, which
makes no sense.
Baffling. And then it was a fight where you could argue he won. The first round was close. He lost the second, clearly won the third, but he was using his striking the whole time. And he's a NCAA champion wrestler.
Right.
Now, the guy he fought was a 2-time Sambo world champion. But still, in the third round, Phil showed how easy it was for him to take him down. And the announcer's like, why did he not do this earlier? But it was just like, ugh. Phil Davis, almost all of his losses except for Anthony Johnson and Rashad Evans, you could argue he won. I thought he won both against Bader. And it was bullshit. It was fucking bullshit. But in this fight, I thought he won too. I don't know. I feel bad for him. I like Phil Davis.
Was this part of the tournament?
No, he's not. But then Ryan Couture, he fought some guy Hayam, who from Israel.
Yeah.
Who Ryan already beat, and then he beat him again.
Great television.
I texted him, quit beating up my people, but they keep calling him out
because they were in
Israel. Yeah. So Khabib's dad said that Conor might box Khabib. They might set it up as a boxing match. Why not play checkers and chess and Connect Four?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, exactly. This isn't Floyd Mayweather. You're both MMA fighters. You have to fight MMA again. What is he just trying to take away one of his so he can't take him down again?
I don't know. I mean,
that makes no sense.
It's Khabib's dad, not Conor's dad. Khabib's dad wants this fight in boxing.
Right, but is he saying does he want to do it just to prove that he's
better at boxing? Yeah, at anything.
This is just insanity.
Let's have thumb wrestling. Absolutely.
Exactly.
What are we doing here?
Just thumb war. Yeah, that's it.
Unfortunately, Paige Van Zandt, Rachel Ostovich fights off. It was two of the most attractive women.
This is a big seller for them.
Supposedly, Rachel's husband, domestic violence. He's a fighter. Put her in the hospital. So,
oh my god!
I texted Rachel. I reached out to her. She reached back. She was very sweet.
Well, please get better. Okay. You deserve better than that. Hopefully, feel better.
Yeah, and Rachel's. I mean, she's from a fighting family. Her dad's a fighter.
Yeah.
Her brothers are fighters. Like that dude, her husband better be on a.
I was about to say, well, they're probably going to take up for her, so you better be careful.
Yeah.
You know, you mess with a girl like that, you mess with her family. I mean, that's dangerous business.
And they're Hawaiians.
Oh, forget it. Oh my God. Those are prideful people. That family's going to come for him.
Yeah.
We're going to see it. It's going to be in the news.
Yeah.
They're going to come for him.
Yeah.
So,
if the cops don't come for him first, yeah.
Right, exactly. If he jail might save him.
Yeah. Adrian Broner is fighting Manny Pacquiao. You know, Adrian Broner is always in trouble. Yeah, it should be a good fight.
I mean,
I'm going to see it. And then 50 Cent said,
Broner. Manny Pacquiao's what is he, about 53, 54 now?
Congressman, he's like. Speaking about Pacquiao, though, I used to watch him train.
Now, those two should compete in something other than they should compete in a karaoke contest. Okay, something more age appropriate.
Adrian, I remember watching Pacquiao back in the day, and he was killing everyone at the gym. This is like Morales Barrera Pacquiao, and he was like supposedly they were saying at the gym he was doing drugs, had mistresses and girlfriends, and out of control, and he was killing everyone. And then he found Jesus and started losing. So I guess maybe
that shows you. Sometimes you mess with the winning formula.
Yeah, right?
Exactly. Apparently that was the fuel that made the machine work. And then they're like,
Broner is like,
that's like when somebody gets sober
Oh, yeah.
And then gets cancer. And it's like, maybe you should have just stayed on drugs, Maybe that was what was actually keeping you together.
Or their music sucks after they get sober.
Exactly. They I have nothing to struggle against. I'm just sober and feel pretty good now.
We've seen comics that have in the comedy. They were a lot funnier and they were on drugs.
Yeah, no, that's true. That happens.
Unfortunately. And these
are just jokes, people.
But Broner, I don't, I'm not telling anyone to do drugs. Obviously, it's better to get sober. So Broner, how many chances is this guy going to get? He's
This
always getting arrested.
He
was going down on girls in strip clubs, which is not illegal, but he was always getting into fights.
Actually, it is.
Getting arrested. I mean, he's always, and then he's now getting this fight. I think he lost his last fight, or maybe he barely won.
Yeah.
But
he may be the only guy willing to take it.
Well, Mayweather is promoting it. Mayweather knows.
Yeah.
And then Mayweather now says that fight against the Asian kid.
Yeah.
Remember he's supposed to fight that Asian kid that the guy's 21-0, 21 years old.
Right. It was supposed to be for $1 billion. But
then he realized that it was MMA or kickboxing, and he's like, no. Well, now he says the fight's up. Now he says the fight's back on, but it's just in boxing.
Right. Which it was to begin with.
No, it was supposed to be anything. It was like MMA.
Oh.
But he didn't know that. And then now he's like, but now he's.
How did he not know that? It's his company. He's the guy that approves everything.
No, I think it was these rich people from the Middle East were offering him a fight for, according to him, as an exhibition boxing match. And then next thing you know, it's he's at a press conference against this guy in MMA, and he's going to do it. And he's like, fuck this, I'm out. But now he's saying, no, everyone's calling him a pussy, so now he's back in. But it's just
it's a boxing match.
Boxing match.
He was like, no, I'm back in it. Well, that's smart.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Floyd has proven that nobody can beat him in boxing.
Yes, that's why it's smart.
Yeah.
It's stupid for him to go in there and get beat in MMA. Because one, he's too old to want to retrain.
Yeah.
He's made too much money to want to retrain. You know what I mean? Yes, he'll take your, he wants to be retired, but if you're going to give him $100 million, he'll take it, but not in MMA.
Well, I think the guy's a kickboxer, not an MMA guy. So the guy said no kicking now. I think the guy was he said no kicking.
Yeah, which is fine. That's exactly, why would he agree to anything else?
He shouldn't.
He shouldn't.
But he should know what he's getting into in the first place.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous that he didn't realize it was a kickboxing match.
So this week, this Saturday night.
Although, they say he's not a great reader. So maybe he just saw the boxing part and was like, that looks right.
I tell you a time, the story that when I met him at Mel's Diner, Mayweather.
No.
It was before he fought Ricky Hatton and it was he was still the champ of the world, but he wasn't Money Mayweather. He was still big, but he wasn't.
Right. He wasn't quite the.
So I saw him eating at Mel's Diner.
Yeah.
So one other guy, I'm like, oh, you're Mayweather. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, you think you can beat? And I named 10 guys. He's like, oh, kill that guy. Are you kidding? He was getting annoyed with me.
Yeah.
And then when he saw that I was kind of disappointed by him getting annoyed with me, he's like, man, you're my man. And then he gave me a big hug. And he was, nice. He seemed like a real kind of a sweet guy, to be honest. I guess unless you're a baby mama. Anyway, so here we go. The upcoming fight. So Saturday night, there's 2 fights coming up. First is 2 promotions. Golden Boy MMA, Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz 3.
And this is their big foray into MMA, right? They just invented their own MMA division.
No,
right?
it's Golden Boy.
That's what I'm saying. Golden Boy, they're a boxing promoter.
De La Hoya.
Right. So isn't this their first major MMA event? This is their first foray into major MMA promotion.
Yes.
And they're starting with 2 dinosaurs.
It's going to air on Blockbuster Video.
They're basically doing what Bellator. And when you're taking the bones left over by Bellator.
Bellator is now the youth league compared to these guys. This is crazy.
God.
And what's crazy, I heard him on a radio go, I'm looking to discover the next big thing. I'm like, well, why are you doing it with Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz 3?
Because no one's going to buy unknown names. And that's the thing. When it comes to promotion, they just need names.
Yeah, but
but I don't think they realize how warmed over these names are.
Well, the thing is that it looks like Chuck Liddell can barely walk. He may need a one of those scooters.
Right. Not like the Razor scooter.
No.
More like the ones you get at Walmart.
Yeah.
When you're 385 pounds.
They have the basket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he may have that. And then,
there won't be stairs to the ring. There'll just be a ramp.
I mean, he's gonna have like a maid with him, like one of those like a nurse.
Yeah.
Walk him to the. Yeah.
Well, someone's got to pull the oxygen tank.
So I think Tito's gonna kill him. I do.
Just by virtue of being healthier.
Just by making it to the cage.
By virtue of being able to walk still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're fighting. And then Tom Lawler, who got banned from the UFC, I think for steroids, but I think he didn't know it. And I believe him.
Yeah.
He's fighting a guy named...
Haven't you had him on the podcast a few times?
I haven't had Tom Lawler, but I like him. He's fighting Darren Wynn, who's 3-0. I don't know who that guy is. He's one of those guys that has like a shadow on MMA Junkie.
Sweet.
And then Gleison Tebow. He's been around forever.
Oh, forever. He used to be a real monster. He was one of those guys that you would look at and you're like, roids.
Yeah, how did this guy make 155?
Right, like, I mean, veins popping out of his neck, his eyes bulging red. You're like, I feel like maybe he's on the juice.
So he's fighting Efren Escudero, who won the Ultimate Fighter back in the day. He's been in the UFC like 3 times already.
And back to the Gleison thing, back when he was doing it, though, when he was in it, when it was like allowed. Like everyone was juicing. It's not like he was the only one.
Well, I think it was TRT was allowed.
Yeah,
but
something.
Everyone was getting exceptions for that, which is like, okay, you're a fighter, but you lack testosterone. Like just
so many of them lack testosterone. That's what people say when they run into him all the time in bars and stuff. They're like, this guy lacks testosterone.
Yeah, like that's the thing.
Yeah,
it's like being a porn star who lacks herpes.
Right.
It's sort of just like
good luck, find that. Yeah,
it just comes with it, right? So and then Willow Watson, who says he's 11-6, is fighting Ricardo Palacios. I don't know if MMA Junkie just didn't update it, but he's fighting a guy 1-0. That doesn't seem like that makes any sense. And then Tom Galicchio.
How does that not make sense? A guy can be 1-0.
But
here's what it means. It means he's had one professional fight. And he won it.
Yeah, but it's like I don't know who's going to sanction that. Like 11-6 versus 1-0. Like that's usually who's sanctioning Chuck versus Tito?
Yeah, like exactly. Is anyone sanctioning these at all? Maybe they're just putting them in there and they're like, "Listen, guys, good luck."
It really is. Like, wasn't there a movie with like
De
Niro fought Stallone or something? Wasn't there?
Yeah, like the old man fight. Yeah,
what was that
called?
Yeah, it was
Last Rites.
The Iron Will. What
Prayer before burial.
Final meal.
Yeah, last meal. Yeah.
So and then Tom Galicchio, our boy, Toothless Tom.
Yeah.
He's fighting Jason Manley. This is an interesting fight. Manley is a guy who's been like training with the Diaz brothers. He's been Ellenberger's jiu-jitsu coach. Like he's really good at grappling, and he's fighting Toothless Tom. So this is actually a fight I'm looking forward to the most. Actually,
sure, it's like a classic bum fight.
And then no, he's not a bum. Tom was in the UFC.
I'm talking about when you.
No, Tom.
Remember bum fights?
Yeah, but he's not a bum.
It feels like it is.
No,
not that he's a bum. Just that,
on.
like it's isn't he kind of old?
Tom, he does comedy now. We do comedy together.
That's what I'm saying. Like when you've moved on to the comedy part of your career, okay, they're dragging you out like 2 homeless people to fight each other. Like here you go, guys. But you got a little juice left in you. Fight each other. The toothless guy and this is not. I stick by my bum reference.
And then Johnny Cisneros, who I've seen.
I'm not calling him a bum. I'm comparing it to bum fights.
Is fighting David Terrell. David, I know because he got into a street fight with Tito Ortiz, and we actually had him on the podcast. And I thought he was another guy named David Terrell. I had the wrong David Terrell. I'm like, hey, you knocked out this guy in 6 seconds. Matt, I forgot who he knocked out. Somebody really good, Matt Lindland. And he's like, oh, that was another David Terrell. I thought it was like I had the wrong David Terrell on the podcast. But anyway, so that's Golden Boy, and then UFC Ultimate Fighter. UFC Curtis Blades.
Curtis Blades, motherfucker,
from China. Is starting at 6:30 in the morning.
Versus Francis Ngannou, right?
So 3:30 a.m. on Friday night against Francis Ngannou. Ngannou won the.
This is one of those one on Fight Pass or
on Fight Pass.
God, I hate all this Fight Pass.
You have Fight Pass?
No.
Why?
Because
it's like $10 a month.
Television.
It's like $10 a month though. But there's actually there's contenders on it and like there's good
I
stuff
know.
on.
Listen, I know. I should just get it.
A lot of time, I don't know. I hear you, but there's a lot.
Why can't they just put that?
You spend $10 on a lot worse things than Fight Pass.
Put that on FS1. So I can record it and enjoy it.
They should. I mean, you got to think at 3:30 in the morning, they probably get better ratings. And
I mean, than the fucking Ginsu knife commercial.
So Francis Ngannou versus Curtis Blades. Now listen, everybody's hopping off the Ngannou bandwagon because of the Stipe fight and because of the last fight against the Black Beast when that was just bad.
He got pretty dominated.
And Curtis Blades, I was high on. Is a great wrestler, beats a lot of dudes. I'm not sleeping on Ngannou next. The only thing that's the problem is that every one of his coaches say he's hard to coach. that he doesn't listen.
Who,
or his ego's too big. When I met him, he was super fucking cool. Yeah. I made fun of him at my
maybe 2 losses will bring him back down a couple notches.
Yeah, and he hits so fucking hard.
Yeah.
He could hurt Ngannou. I mean, Curtis Blades.
I have to say, when I saw the matchup, I'm like, this is dangerous for Blades. Because Curtis is on the way up.
Yeah.
Right? And he's looking good. So he's all confident. So Ngannou's on the way down, and then they have this incredible travel to Beijing, which I'm sure Ngannou is probably more used to that kind of international travel than Blades. I mean, has Blades ever had to fight this?
But he fights out of Colorado and the high altitude.
Yeah, but I mean, travel's a big deal. You know,
I mean, look, I think the smart money's on Curtis Blades, where they are in their career, and
I'm just saying it is a dangerous fight.
And this dude,
more dangerous than people think.
And one punch can change anything.
Absolutely. And who has that kind of power? Ngannou. I mean, he's still got it.
MMA fans are so funny; they just jump off the bandwagon so quickly.
Oh, totally. But that's the thing, though. But go ahead and ask me who I think is going to win.
Who's going to win?
Curtis Blades, motherfucker.
So All-Star Overeem is taking on Sergey Pavlovich. I don't know who this guy is, but he's 10-0. He looks like a monster.
Listen, I got to tell you, because the fact that Overeem has an amazing ability to lose out of nowhere, I'm not joking. I'm going to go with the 10-0 guy, even though I don't know him. I don't know anything about him. I know this is exactly the kind of fight that Overeem shows up and loses.
What are you talking about? Lose out of nowhere?
Yeah, he gets knocked out. He gets fucking put out.
He does always look like he's winning, and then
yes,
but he's still got 43 wins on his record.
That's what I'm saying. But that's why he loses out of nowhere. He's got so much built-up damage on him. He can be knocked out, and it's always surprising when it happens.
Here's the problem:
I'm
going
with the 10-0 guy.
He needs to go to Ryzen, where they just let him take steroids again.
Yeah,
because when he Overeem on Juice, the Overeem versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
It was unbeatable.
Solid Overeem.
Yeah, solid. Just let these guys. Did you see that new KSW fight that's happening? You know, yeah, all right. So
KSW, PFL, RZN. What is this? Everybody just have your own fight league. You know what? We're starting the Team Roasted Fight League. We're going to start promoting fights. Why not? Everyone else.
KSW, which is in Poland. It used to be,
of course, the homeland of all legitimate sports.
Joe McCorkle fought Mariusz Pudzianowski there. He went 1-1.
I like McCorkle.
Against the world's strongest man. Remember the world's strongest man? He beat him, and then it was one of the funniest things. After he goes, "I am now the world's strongest man." And then the next fight they had at the press conference, he wore a T-shirt with the guy's name on him, a picture on it. They're like, "Why are you wearing your opponent's T-shirt?" He goes, "To remind myself who the second strongest man in the world is." Anyway, so they announced this fight. They signed this guy. I'm going to show you a picture. I know people at home can't see this, but I put it up on Twitter, on my Twitter account, MMA Roasted. These two guys.
Oh, dear Lord. Oh, my God. It's like an advertisement for steroids.
I mean, these two guys are fighting each other.
The one guy can't even put his arms down. All you got to do is hit him in the inside stomach. He can't defend it. His arms don't come that close.
Who do you think's going to win this fight? The guy with the tattoo. So there's a guy with a tattoo.
The guy on the right. The guy on the right's going to win just because his arms can actually come closer to his waist.
I don't know how they're going to fit into the cage.
That guy has one fight move, the helicopter. That's all he could do is just spin in a circle and hope you walk into his fist. And if you do walk into his fist, you are being knocked out. But if you manage to get between the fists, if you can time it up between the blades of the helicopter.
I like how he's wearing black khakis, though, in the picture, too.
Oh, my God.
So, KSW.
It's so funny because it's like MMA evolved into a real sport, and now it's devolving back into the original version of the anything goes, no weight division, juice, do whatever the fuck you want of UFC 1.
That is the funniest thing.
That's right. It's like a bell curve.
Where did they find those two?
I mean, it's like it went all the way up and now it's just coming all the way back down again.
Bare knuckle boxing.
That's what I'm saying. It's devolving. It evolved and now it's devolving back to its original format. This is crazy to watch.
All right. So that's happening. Vince, I don't know who Vince Morales is. I don't know who some of the other guys are. Alex Morano, I know him, was fighting Sean Keenan. Lauren Mueller came to my comedy show. She's 5-0, fighting Wu Yanan. Who do you like in that fight?
I'm going to go Wu Yanan, just because it's fun to say.
All right.
Woo!
All right.
Just like Curtis Blades, motherfucker. Now we go, woo!
Rashad Coulter.
Oh, that's awesome.
This food thank you, babe.
What a lady.
Rashad Coulter is fighting
I like you.
Hu Yazang. Hu Yazang is fighting Rashad Coulter. The guy's from China, and he's 230 pounds. Hu Yazang. Rashad's a guy that's like...
Oh, my God. How is that a match? It's like one of them goes to the gym, and the other one just has an elliptical. It's unbelievable. Why is that? How is that a match?
How is this guy 3-0?
And you know what's going to happen? The elliptical's going to win.
This is what happens in China. Like, they go to China, and they pick these guys that are 3-0 and 2-0, and it really kind of is fucked up because there's a guy named, like, Jordan Johnson we on the show who is, like, 11-1, and the UFC didn't re-sign him. And the guy's wrestled for Iowa, and a Golden Gloves champion.
Got the pedigree, got everything you want.
And then Ben Askren, it took him, like, how many years to get in? And there are all these guys out there who... 10 and the guy I had a guy on last week who was 14-3 or something.
Can't get a shot.
Adam Milstead, he's waiting, but yet they're gonna sign a guy who's 3-0.
But isn't the 3-0 guy like native to that area?
Yes, that's exactly why. He's from China.
They always do that. It's the same formula over and over again. Let's find some local guys. Make sure we sell out the arena. I mean, that's what it's about. It's about
but the UFC is a league, though. It's a league, and
I know, but they feel like their best bet to make sure it's sold out is to make sure they have some.
And I get that, but if the Lakers play in, let's say the Lakers all of a sudden were like, oh, it's going to have the Lakers versus the Rockets in Turkey. They don't just recruit fucking 7 Turkey players.
No, they have the Lakers versus the Turkish national basketball team.
But that's their team, but they're not in the league. The UFC is a league. And they're just recruiting people to join the league because they're from the area.
Whoever they want.
I know, and it's not right. It's not right to people that actually deserve it. It's not right.
Listen, this argument
is happening
about who deserves what.
Yeah,
has been talk about the one constant in MMA.
Yeah,
is the argument of who deserves what.
By the way, there's a new fighter coming out in ONE FC. His name is Brown Penis.
Wait, let's allow everyone a moment to let that soak in. Brown Penis.
Yeah, Brown Penis is is actually a fighter. Yeah, I forgot.
Most of them are.
Brown penises. Hold on, I'm trying to think who the guy, who's the announcer from Australia that like I actually gave him a retweet when he announced it. Yeah, there's a guy named Brown Penis.
That is unbelievable.
I would like to get him on the podcast.
God, I hope Brown Penis is up against like white chocolate. Like that would just be the best. You know what I mean? Like it needs some other great name.
Or against like Billy or like something Cunts. There's a fighter whose last name is Cunts.
Yeah.
I think he would be really good.
Yeah.
So
or Pink.
Yeah, Pink Cunts.
Yeah.
So there we go. And then also on this card is a girl, Jessica Aguilar, who was the first gay champion.
Or Mike Hunt.
Mike Hunt, yeah. First gay champion.
Brown Penis versus Mike Hunt.
So she's on the card. Jessica Aguilar against Walil Zhang, who's 17-1. And then, I don't know, I can't even pronounce. Liu Pingyong is taking Martin Day. Zan Zeonan. And the last guy, Louis Smolko, who's my friend. I like him from Hawaii. Is fighting Samadurgi. They just put the same first and last.
Oh, that's so bad.
Why would they do that? I mean, why would you, like? Is it like someone gives what should we name them and you like freeze and you just look at the last name and
just put it twice. We don't know what it is.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. We're talking about UFC, and that's why it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
you expect that from the smaller leagues who have to dig some guys up and find some guys that are scrappy and put on a good fight and know what they're doing in the league. For someone like UFC, the gold standard in MMA.
Yeah.
To do things like that, gimmicky things, it's like you don't have to do that. You're the UFC, and it makes you wonder: are these decisions based on not wanting to fly people? Is it based, do you really have trouble selling out that bad? Because it seems like you don't. What is the reason? You do have to wonder who's making those fucking decisions.
Well, that's the thing, and also a lot of times, like it happens that a lot of times what happens is they put the local guy on. But they can't find anyone that they could actually beat. So the UFC comes in, the guy comes out, just steamrolls the local hero, and it's not necessarily great for anybody except for the guy who steamrolled them. Like.
But I mean, local hero, I get. But a local hero, you know his first name, and you got a picture of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like who is this then? This total mystery.
Yeah.
It's just craziness.
It is craziness.
You know what I was just thinking about, though, Adam?
What's that?
If you had to put a record on your comedy career.
Oh, yeah.
Shows you've won versus shows you've lost.
See, Brown Peanuts.
And shows you would call a draw.
All right, hold on. Yeah, okay, so the guy's name is Brown Peanuts. BROWNPINAS. He finished Johan Fairtex with a beautiful elbow.
With a beautiful elbow.
Brown.
And a giant head.
Yeah.
Look at that. Textbook 101. A turning back elbow. And it didn't go horizontal. It went up a diagonal. That's the most dangerous. That's why Brown is renowned for the elbows. It's a knockout.
Just say Brown Peanuts.
No, notice he was avoiding it.
Yeah.
That's why Brown is renowned. You know, he'd written all these ways around it before they even started the fight. He's like, as a professional announcer, my job is to not say Brown Penis over and over again.
You could have had so much fun with that. He does not want to lose to Brown Penis.
No one wants
Brown Penis is unstoppable.
But look at this, and everyone can agree Brown Penis is incredibly strong, incredibly powerful, very potent. Look at the veins.
He's growing stronger through the entire fight.
As the fight goes on, Brown Penis gets stronger.
Brown Penis popped him in the mouth.
Oh, that was a straight right.
How much fun will we have?
Oh my God.
Brown Penis, to see he got a one eye.
We should live broadcast it on like Facebook Live or on YouTube Live or something. Us calling the Brown Penis fight. We should absolutely call the Brown Penis fight.
Yeah.
Brown Penis. Ooh, that was a long, hard one by Brown Penis.
His parents must have known this was not a good idea.
Well, if they were American, I don't think he's an American. Although, how do you wind up with the first name Brown? If you're not American, I don't know. This guy's a mystery. We got to get him on the show.
Yeah,
he must be on the show.
Yeah, we got to get Brown.
It's too good. And he tried to say it in like a not penisy way, and it still was penis. Brown penis. It was still penis. That's the best ever. Curtis Blaze, motherfucker, you know I love you. But I'm afraid for now. And you too, one whole cock. I love you, one whole cock. But right now, the new champ, Brown Penis.
Brown
Penis. Oh, we got to have Brown Penis versus one whole cock. That would be fantastic.
So if anyone knows how to get in contact with Brown Penis, please get in contact with us.
Greatest knockouts we've seen in one Super Series. Look at that. Textbook 101. A turning back elbow. And it didn't go horizontal. It went up a diagonal.
Hold on, let's see.
In one Super Series.
Let's see.
That is one of the greatest knockouts we've seen in
Hold on.
With a huge victory. Irene. Brown Penis.
That's going to make me laugh.
It's almost like they're serving Brown Penis at a restaurant. At a really nice French restaurant. They're like, would you like to try Le Brown Penis? We have Le Brown Penis available for you today.
How funny is that?
Brown Penis.
So you were saying one loss comedy?
Well, I'm saying if you had to put a record on your comedy career of all your shows, okay, that you won versus your losses, your wins versus your losses, what do you think your record be? I mean, clearly we're in the thousands.
I mean, every year we're talking about like how the ratio you're talking about, or just how many?
Just if you had to put a numerical value on it.
I do 300 shows a year, which is probably do more than that actually.
Yeah.
But I would say
2 a night.
Out of that, I would say there's probably like 20 bombs,
right,
and 280 wins.
Okay,
now
per year.
But over when I started,
right,
we're talking about like I wasn't even 500. I was like 3 wins to 20 losses. You know, it's like, you know, a lot of times you don't realize how bad you were. When I first started, I was terrible.
Oh, yeah, man.
I was dumping beers on my head. I was bringing up magazines. Like, this is my girlfriend. She's a model. And it was like Big Butt Magazine. Like, I was fucking awful, but I thought I was funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, I took comedy classes, and the people in classes were awful too, so they thought I was funny.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until like 4 or 5, 6 months in, you're like, oh shit, maybe I should be doing this, or maybe I should be doing that. I mean, that first couple of weeks, I was brutal.
Sure.
But I just love being up there.
Absolutely.
And
that's what you have to love, no matter how brutal it gets.
The more I do it, the better, the easier it gets, obviously, and the better. And now it's also like when I do those cruise ships, like I did a cruise ship recently, which, a part of me is like, what am I doing? Is it going backwards? Like, is this really where I want to be? But then I'm like, the money's amazing.
And that's the answer.
And I'm doing them now where I could leave from Long Beach on a Friday and come back Monday.
Those are the best.
So that's 3 days.
That's great.
And I get to bring my family on for like $5 a day or something.
That's fantastic.
So I'm like, okay, we get to go to Catalina and Ensenadas on the weekend. It's paid for.
You make money. You spend time with your family. So
I'm doing 6 shows. Yeah. And it forced me to do 30-minute shows, a G-rated. The hard ones are the G-rated.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do a G-rated show unless I'm forced to do it. But then once you like do it, you're like, wow, I could do 45 G-rated. And I'm talking about like not even no innuendos,
right?
Like no G. Yeah. But also that like I kind of like making kids laugh in some ways because it's very pure.
Sure.
It's like they're actually having a good time. And if you can make a parents and kids laugh, it's pretty fucking cool. Like I gotta say, as corny as it sounds, it's pretty cool. Even like
I gotta tell you, it sounds pretty corny.
I'm telling you, like.
But I understand what you're saying.
The other night.
I mean, the thing is, we get older, we move on. We don't stay the rock and roll kids that we were in our 20s or even in our 30s. I mean, we become adults, and at a certain point, doing that kind of thing is not the worst thing in the world.
No, and it also like, but you just have to not make. I have to. For me, some people can make a career out of that. I being away from my baby, I was physically getting ill.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, sometimes, like, obviously, I miss my wife. I love my wife.
Sure.
But there are times where 3 days out of town is the best thing for our relationship because you realize, oh, I miss you.
No, totally. And that's what I tell Summer, too. I say the fact that I have the kind of career where I leave, it's not like I don't want you with me, but it helps to be away. The second I get away from her, I miss her. And that's, I think, a very valuable thing.
Wait, what was that?
Who? 3 days is the best thing for a relationship.
No, first of all, that's my wife, by the way. No, sometimes.
No, it is.
Sometimes,
I think there's a lot of validity.
No, sometimes, like when you're around someone so much, little things get on your nerves, right?
Sure.
And I find that when you go away, you're like, yeah, I left this out or that out. But I really miss the person a lot more, and that's the overall.
That's the thing, and I agree with this, and I feel bad for couples that their job doesn't require them to travel ever, because I think it's incredibly valuable. Like I leave, I immediately miss Summer. We have better conversations on the phone when I'm out of town than we ever have when I'm in town.
I mean, Bree, how many times have you gotten mad at me over and over, and then I leave, and then like 3 hours later you text me, I miss you.
It's a good thing. I think it's a.
Oh
boy, she's a good one. She's a good egg.
No, but there are times where like, but with the baby, it's a different story. It's not like a little kid. I'm like, oh, my time away from my child, our relationship's gonna be better. It's just
right.
I mean, maybe when she's older, that'll be the case. Like you miss your parents. You start to appreciate them. But I don't understand. Like I know so many comedians that never see their kids, and they have numerous kids.
Right.
And I'm like. Not to judge, but I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Dude, there was one comic, I didn't even know he had kids. And he's like, oh yeah, no, I got like a 16-year-old daughter and a 17-year-old son. I'm like,
yeah.
Shouldn't you be raising them? Like, what? When did you? Like, they live in another state. Like, I've never heard him. He never even mentioned them. I've known him for years. Never even mentioned that he had 2 kids back home where he was from. And I got to tell you, I lost almost all respect for him in that moment. Because I was like, what?
Yeah.
So you just were like, you raise these kids, I'm going to go off and be a comedian.
And especially when a lot of the times I know these people, they're not even the most, like, they're not Joe Rogan. They're not like, oh, I'm setting my kid up for $1 million. So he's
right.
And then his kids are taken care of and everyone. It's like, they're like, not even getting better. They're out drinking at night and like.
Yeah. I was just like, I'm not going to say I lost all respect for him, but I did find it incredibly shocking because I thought he was a really great guy. And then when I heard that, I was like, who are you, man? Like, that isn't right.
There's a lot of people like that. And I hate to be, look, I have a lot of faults.
I do
myself.
Exactly.
We both have faults.
Anyone's ever listened to us will know I'm not perfect.
Yeah, I'm not perfect at all. And there are things that I do that I wish I didn't or wish I did in the past that I look back and I'm like, Like I was thinking about, I went to the prom with this girl and like hooked up with another girl in the limo. That was a pretty shitty fucking thing to do. I ended up apologizing to her years later and finger blasting her, but still, like so I thought you were away in the other room, babe. There are things
she walked right out looking at you like you.
There are things that I wish I didn't do, but when I see guys that like cheat on their wives like over and over,
like
and
that's
over,
just their pattern. Like,
I understand. Like, look, people fuck up, people make mistakes. There are times the guys are drunk and they like make the wrong decisions, or women. Like nobody's perfect, but I see guys that are like every city they go to is a different chick, and they got a wife and kids at home.
Yeah,
and I have to think to myself like, okay, how good of a friend are you going to be to me when you're lying to the person that you're sleeping next to every night?
Yeah.
Or when you're home, at least. You know, like how, like you think you're going to be a loyal friend to me? You're going to have my back? Like you don't have the back of the person you walk down the aisle. Down the aisle with.
Yeah.
The person that you have to talk to your kids. You know, and like when my daughter grows older, I'm gonna really sit her down and tell her like, to make sure that dudes respect her and don't what guys really want out of her. Yeah. And what they're gonna try to get out of her. And like Bree took these pictures. We had to do a photo shoot, which was a present. My birthday present was a photo shoot for the family.
That's nice.
Kind of, but I would have rather have the money. But anyway, so do a photo shoot, and she's taking these topless pictures of the baby and putting it on. I'm like, no. So I'm cropping her nipples out. And I understand she's 4 weeks old, but still, there's fucking people out there.
There's creeps out there, yeah.
Yeah, the CB and.
Say that she doesn't want dick as much as any guy wants pussy.
Who?
Your baby when she's like 20 or 17.
She's gonna be a lesbian. And,
hey, there's a super creepy old RV parked outside. Should I call the police?
No.
No,
It's probably CB. So.
Real weird.
Okay. Thanks, babe. Yeah. Listen, people. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission-free. They strive to make financial services work for everyone, not just the wealthy. It's a non-intimidating way for stock market newcomers to invest for the first time with true confidence. It's simple and intuitive. They got a clear design with data presented in an easy-to-digest way. I'm telling you guys, it's awesome, all right? They have the cost. They have no commission fees. Other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, but Robinhood doesn't charge commission fees. Trade stocks and keep all of your profits. Its design is easy to use. They got easy-to-understand charts and market data. Place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. Just 4 taps. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. Okay? You learn by doing. You can learn how to invest as you build your portfolio. You can discover new stocks and track favorite companies with personalized news feeds. All right? So, Robinhood is giving listeners a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help build your portfolio. Sign up at MMAroasted.robinhood.com. That's MMAroasted.robinhood.com. Listen, people, 66% of men lose their hair by the age of 35. And the thing is, when you start to notice your hair loss, it is too late. It's easier to keep the hair you have than to replace the hair you've lost. We've all seen it. People with like bad transplants and bad wigs and all kinds of bad stuff, okay? And is that hairline slowly starting to move backwards? Any bald spots yet? Be honest with yourself, people. How would you feel a year from now if it's business as usual up there? You feel good. I know you would, all right? And I ask you, do you want a bald spot to pop up? Or do you want to do something about it first? Do you want your hairline to recede, or do you want to do something about it first? And why do guys turn to weird solutions or do nothing when they can turn to medicine and science? Here's a solution. Go to forhims.com. It's a one-stop shop for hair loss, skin care, and sexual wellness for men. I want you guys to keep your hair, all right? Look at me. I got a huge forehead. My hair is receding, all right? So I check out this stuff. It helps, all right? It's working. And thanks to science, baldness can be optional. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. They got well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair. No waiting room, no awkward in-person doctor visits. You could save hours by going to forhims.com. You answer a few quick questions, the doctor will review it, and prescribe you the stuff you need. The products are shipped directly to your door. You can order now. My listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 today while supplies last. See the website for full details. This would cost hundreds going to the doctor or the pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/roasted. That's forhims.com/roasted. forhims.com/roasted. So, anyway, so yeah, my point is that, yeah, I mean, I don't know. What was I talking about? Fucking comics or kids and this and that. Fights. All right, so.
I think my record would be like 116,000.
Wins?
Yes. To like 12,000 to 15,000 losses.
I don't know, man. I've seen you bomb, but like sometimes like you bomb funny and gracefully. You just take it like
that.
you take it like a man and you stick with the material.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool. A lot of times, like, I'm like, fuck it. How I used to be was if I'm going down, we're all going down.
Yeah,
like,
I was that way too.
I'm wrecking this whole fucking room. Yeah. And sometimes you can win them back that way.
Right.
That's the problem.
And sometimes for me, I can see what it's going to take to win this crowd, and I make a judgment call whether or not they deserve it. Based on, one, am I being paid? Okay? Because if I'm not being paid, fuck you, I'm not trying that hard. I'm not going to do it. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to stand here and tell my jokes. And you can laugh or not laugh. I'm not going to improvise. I'm not going to dig deep. I'm not going to try and find you because you're not paying me to do that. You're just being an asshole and I'm here for free.
Yeah.
So those shows, I'm just going to let those go. You can fucking have those. Okay? Now, if I'm being paid, right? Or there's some reason that I want to do great on that show, like as a big venue or something like that, then yeah, then I'm going to dig deep and I'm going to find it.
See, I think to a fault sometimes, like, as an insecure person sometimes, I'm not the most secure person. I've become more secure in my old age.
That kind of goes with the title comedian.
But I've always wanted to win. And a lot of times I've seen comics out there. I've seen Bill Burr do 25 minutes and not get a laugh. But at like an improv, an Irvine Improv or something. But he's like, fuck it, I'm working on new shit.
Yep.
And now look where he is. Whereas sometimes like I would do 5 minutes and if they weren't getting a laugh, all right, time for the old stuff, and not stick with that 25 minutes. Now, there's another part of me that says, well, yeah, because if you bomb, it goes around and then they don't book you back. There's a certain point, you get to the point of it being a celebrity where you're allowed to bomb because
Absolutely.
Just you being there, it doesn't even matter.
Right.
Russell Peters can go into any comedy club right now in the world and take a shit on stage and they'll still have him back.
Right, because he's going to sell out.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, a lot of times I think I would have been better off bombing with my material and just going down than trying to win every single battle.
Yeah.
Now, look, hindsight's 2020. I'm 40. I could look at that now and be like, oh, that's something I should have. Or, a lot of times it was go dirty. Go dirties versus go clean. But I think when I was going dirty, my life was dirtier. I mean, there were times.
Totally, it was more real to you that boy because you were doing nasty shit.
There were times that I would do comedy at the Laugh Factory, and I'd have 2 porn stars in the crowd, and I knew there was going to be a threesome afterwards, and that was my focus. Babe, come on, you stop walking in on if you're going to be on the podcast, be on the podcast. You just fucking lurking. No, but you
does want to be on. Don't say that.
But
if you don't mean it.
You just lurking around is making me uncomfortable, and now it's going to affect the quality of our show.
I'm literally getting the laundry.
Okay. All right. So I'm saying that like there were times where my focus was a little bit on after the show than what's going on.
Sure.
But I always tried my best. I was at a good sets, but I was, now like doing the cruise ships. It used to be, what staff member am I going to hook up with? What party am I going to think? Now I'm like, oh, I get to read.
Right, exactly.
I get to
great.
sleep
I'll be
in
by 10. I'll be able to get it. I'll get in bed by. I'll be asleep by 11.
I'll be able to edit videos.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is crazy. But it's funny though because I see.
You know what's funny is that I used to remember like when I was a younger comic and then older comics I'd be like, what are we gonna do? He's like, I'm going back to my room to edit some video or to do or whatever. And that's it. I'm like, fuck you. You're wasting this. Blah blah blah. And now I'm not entirely that way, but there are a lot more nights than before where I'm like just gonna go back. I'm cool. I'm done.
Well, because also you have to realize that before as a comic. I tell people this all the time. Like, look, as a comic, you're not going to make any money. You probably won't make it, which is probably a good thing. Because if everyone made it that easily, it'd be nothing.
Yeah, it'd be worthless, and it almost is.
The fact is, that in order to really make it as a comic, it's easier to make it as a professional baseball player than a professional comedian. And I'm talking about professional. Like, you get paid to do it full year round.
Right.
You think about how many people you know that tried out for baseball, little league, and this and that.
Yeah.
There aren't that many. You might know one person or you know of a cousin. That's comedy. Now, listen, of course, there's people that do podcasts and then this and that, and they have 25 different ways of income, and then they also do comedy as well on their one of the asterisks on their business card. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just strictly comedy.
Yeah.
But because they've made it so hard, it's like that Indiana Jones movie where he has to get the skull and he keeps, and you see all the dead people around him and he finally gets it, and like the invisible stairs come out of nowhere. That's fucking making it as a comic.
Right.
Because of that, it weeds out almost everybody. If I look at the people, I took 3 comedy classes when I was 20 years old, and I'm me and like maybe Pete Dominic, who doesn't even do comedy still. He's just more of a radio guy.
Yeah.
But he's doing great. But
yeah, he's a great guy.
Are the only people in those classes that are still doing comedy, except maybe Eric Bronstein. And there were so many good, talented people in those classes, but most people don't do it. They're like, fuck this.
Well, it's a very hard life, and it goes on forever.
Goes on forever. It's a hard life. It makes no fucking sense. The industry is like, it's such an inner workings of like certain management companies own certain comedy clubs, which own certain specials on Comedy Central, and then they're all
exactly. It's all
inbred.
It's all become this game where certain gatekeepers are in charge of everything, and none of it has to do with whether or not you're funny. It all has to do with whether or not they can sell you to TV, to this venue, to this, whatever. And that's what it becomes about, versus does he have any good material? Do people want to hear this? Is this funny? I saw, what's his name special recently, Adam Sandler's special, his new one. And I actually laughed. Mm-hmm. And I can't tell you how long it's been since I've actually laughed at someone else's special. Because I don't watch a lot of them to begin with because I don't want their material seeping into what I'm doing. So I do avoid a lot of them.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you, the few that I've seen, I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
It's just like, and you get annoyed.
Yeah,
and like you watch
very
it, and then you go, and so much of it is like, I see where the editing could have been.
Right. Yeah, because they cut to the audience and they cut back and it picks up.
No, even in like the joke. They tell some long-winded story that is 6 minutes longer than it should have been.
Right.
And then everyone's applauding because they put a fucking laugh track in there. And you're like, wait a minute, this story could have been a minute and a half. It's 8 minutes long. Mm-hmm. And they're killing. But they're not really killing because I've seen them do that when it's not their special. Yeah. There's a lot of that.
By the way, have you seen the Adam Sandler special?
I heard it's good.
The last number, he ended it in the best possible way, man. It's fantastic. I don't want to ruin it for you, but I'm telling you, if you watch no other part of it, you have to see the final number.
He's always been a nice guy, and he takes care of his people. And
yeah, but I've never been a big fan of his comedy. I'm not a fan of his comedy, but I love that special.
Here's what happens, man. Adam Sandler out the gate was hilarious. You look at the first 3 movies he did: Happy Gilmore,
didn't like it.
Billy Madison,
didn't like it.
The Wedding Singer.
That one I liked.
And I think it was those 3, and he was still doing comedy then.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about comedy is that the audience will let you know if you're funny or not. Especially if you're following really good people. You're following guys like, rest in peace, Greg Giraldo or Dave Attell, or these guys that I used to watch, Pete Correale and at the Comedy Cellar, the Ruspinese. So if you're not bringing it, they'll fucking let you know.
Yeah.
It's the most honest form of entertainment. But then you look at, and that happens to other actors as well that started doing comedy. Eddie Murphy, I'll put in this category of like their first movies, 48 Hours.
Yeah.
Coming to America, Beverly Hills Cop.
So great, all of them.
Amazing. But then they start going, wait a minute, I don't have to do comedy anymore.
Right.
I'm getting millions and millions of dollars, and everyone around me is laughing at everything that I'm fucking doing.
Yeah, so why would I risk it?
And they get lazy.
Yeah.
And then, in my opinion, their movies get progressively worse. I'll put Martin Lawrence in this too.
Oh, yeah?
And Chris Tucker, and the list goes on of people that when they were still doing comedy were a lot funnier. Adam Sandler went back into comedy.
Yeah.
And now he's probably funny again because he's not getting by with just, oh shit, it's Adam Sandler, yada yada.
Right.
You know? The Dime Bar, as much as like the Dime Bar is a fucking, as far like a tough, shitty room, it's great because I've seen so many quote unquote celebrities go in there and just get the shit kicked out of them.
Just eat a dick.
Because the crowd's like, I don't give a fuck what you were on. Like, they don't even give you the 5-minute courtesy. They're not even gonna laugh at the
Right. Usually you get a lot of leeway.
None.
Right.
And I've seen comics run out of there going, like lose my number afterwards. And to me, it's justice. It's justice to me because it's like, but yeah, I think a lot of times the comedy is it's hard. It's hard though. Also, when you like Sinbad said, you're funniest when you're riding the bus.
Right.
When you're riding the bus, everything's you're funny.
Yeah.
When you're angry, that's why a New Yorker.
Exactly.
When you're in a fucking snowstorm, you're angry and funny.
And that was one of the things that was very New York for me. The snowstorm thing. I show up to Stand Up New York for a 6:00 show where they gave me a nice 10-minute guest
It's not Stand
spot.
anymore. Stand Up New York. It's back to Stand Up New York.
Did they change? No, the Stand is different.
Oh, okay.
The Stand is a different club, and they got they had to leave their space, so they're trying to get a new space, but it isn't quite open yet. So the Stand is like in transition right now. But Stand Up New York has always been there, just changed ownership.
Okay.
But it's still always been Stand Up New York, 77th Street, Upper West Side.
Okay.
So, but it's snowing, and I'm like, there's no way we're having a show. There's no way. It's a snowstorm, and I'm on the 6:00. There's no way. So I go up, but I'm like, fuck it, I'm going there. What the fuck else am I here to do except this? So I go up there, and they're like, well, I'm like, so are we going to have a show? And they're like, well, we got 6 people. If we get 3 more, we'll have a show. I'm like, great. 2 more people come in. They're like, we're going to have a show. I'm like, great. Yes, let's have a show. They're here. They came through the snow. They're here. We're here. Let's fucking do it. You know? And I went up first. I had to eat the bullet. And here's the other thing. I went up there. I was doing all this great material. I'm like, it's weird that I'm not doing better. Now, I got him, eventually, obviously, but I was like, I'm surprised they're resisting this hard. And then I realized the guy that was coming up right after me was French. And most of the people there, of the 9 people, 7 were French.
Of course.
So they barely understood the language to begin with. And then they're reserving their laughter for their
That
mic.
happens all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like, it's so funny.
I should have known that too. That was the vibe.
One time there was like in the show, there was like one guy in the crowd laughing and everything, and everyone's like, "Oh, we love this guy." And at the end, I talked to the guy. He's like a Nazi. It's like you always make these judgments from, "Oh, they must not like me," and then you talk to them, they speak no English.
Yeah.
That happens all the time as comics. You talk to people like, "Oh shit," it happens all the time.
Yeah.
You can't that. Anyway, we got 2 guests coming into the show. If you could stay. Let me know if you have to leave.
I can stay.
All right. So Austin Arnett, who won his fight last week.
I don't know why I'm staying. You run these things. I don't.
You could fill it. You could come and chime in.
Brown Penis.
Yeah, that would be great if we're talking to Brown Penis.
Oh, we got to get Brown Penis on the phone. Do you want the special today? Is the Brown Penis croquet?
So funny, man. I think those parents. They come on.
Who? This thing is he? What country is he from? He can't be from America, is he?
I don't know.
Or maybe he's Filipino American.
I just
because Pinas seems like it would be one of those like Filipino last names.
I mean, why wouldn't someone tell them, "Hey, listen, your kid's gonna have a hard time in life if you name him Brown Penis." I mean,
maybe they don't call it that.
It's like
in the
my
Philippines.
wife wanted to name our
That's
daughter.
what I want to see. Where is he from? Where did he grow up? Because wherever it is, obviously, maybe penis isn't the word.
My wife wanted to name our daughter Vegas.
What?
Yeah, and I was like, no, because
oh my god,
you got to think of how kids are gonna make fun of it. Oh, it happens in Vegas, stays in Vegas.
Totally. You would have to put a little pole in her in her crib.
No, you can't. Yeah,
she's drinking formula by the shot. She's snorting her formula.
Not a good idea. Hello, Austin.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, so we're talking to Austin Arnett. You're on the MMA Roasted podcast, and congrats on your big win, dude.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, I felt good, man.
No, I was super happy for you. You know what? I thought you won the fight, but I'm like, they're gonna give it to the other guy. It's in Latin America, and the crowd was behind him. Were you surprised that they gave it to you?
No, I mean, I know what you're saying because I knew I won the fight. I knew I dominated the 3rd round. I knew it was a 10-8. But I know what you're saying. That's why as soon as the fight was over, I was running around telling everybody I won that fight. I won that fight. I won that fucking fight. So I just kept saying that. I was like, because I knew I wasn't in enemy territory, man, and I know how judges can be. So, but I mean, I was pretty confident that they were going to still give it to me.
You almost stopped him. That last round,
yeah.
I mean, you were pretty close to having him out. How much longer do you think you would have had to knock him out?
Dude, so if you watch it close, he goes limp. I stand up, and then I come down with a punch, and I hit him clean, and he goes out. And the next punch I hit him with wakes him back up, and he kind of starts moving around again. But if you watch it close, you can see see his body go limp after I stand up and I come down with a big shot, hit him clean. He goes out for a second, and then I kind of woke him back up with the follow-up shots. But yeah, I mean, I think he was gassed. I wore him out pretty good. I think another 30 seconds, and if that even, I'm getting him finished for sure.
No, I was super happy for you, man, because you've had a tough road, man. They've thrown you to some killers. I mean, you're a killer.
Yeah.
You're a killer as well. But I'm looking at the guys you fought. I mean, they didn't put you in. I mean, they put you up against that guy Hakeem Dawodi, who they were saying is like the next big thing. Your fight on the Contender was against a murderer who actually has had some. I think maybe your fight kind of took the life out of him because he's 0-2 since then. But they haven't been giving you an easy road at all.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's been tough fights, and they usually put me up against strikers too. They know I like to stand and strike, so usually these matchups I've been getting Sandhagen, really good fast striker, Dawodu, awesome striker too. So I think they know putting me with these tough strikers they're hoping to bring out really good, exciting fights. So yeah, it's been tough fights, but I know I can beat all these guys. Some things I just fight a little different, and I think every fight I've been in, they're fights that I can win. It's just how the fight game is. So sometimes it doesn't go the way you want it to go that night, but I know I can compete with any of these guys, any of these top strikers, fighters in the 45 weight class for sure.
Now, were you worried about getting cut if you lost?
Yeah, I mean, I knew I was getting cut if I lost that fight. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, I would go 0-3 in the UFC, and you're gone, man. I mean, there's not much you can do about that. But so my back was against the wall. I knew I had to win, and I did what I had to keep my job and keep fighting in the UFC where I want to be.
Fuck yeah, man. Now, I was super happy for you, super proud of you. I said that your win might get you up to over 650 Twitter followers. Did you actually beat 650?
I'm not I'm almost at 700 now, man. I'm like 698 or something. I think climbing.
I think my tweet helped, for real.
It did, dude. It blew up. Everyone was like, I'm number 642. I'm number 6. It was funny. I appreciate that.
No problem, man. I always root for the underdogs, the guys who don't get enough recognition, and I think that you're a great fighter, man. Now you stay with Chiesa. You stayed in Vegas for this camp, or were you in Washington?
We were in Washington, Spokane, baby. We got down to business up here. Just kind of got back to my roots of kind of what got me to the show. Just hard nosed, hard rounds, hard sparring, grappling with the Northwest boys. I just felt like I like training down in Vegas too. The PI is awesome. Everyone there is very helpful, and it's a great facility. Take care of you really well. Syndicate, John Wood, he's a great coach, a great team out there. I just felt like for this one, I needed to get back to what got me to where I was, and get back to just that hard grind up here in the Northwest. So that's why I decided to stay up here this time.
Nice. Now, what was it like sleeping on Chiesa's couch? Because that guy looks like he's homeless, smokes weed all day, plays video games.
Dude, it was awesome, man. Mike, he's one of my, he's a training partner, but he's also one of my closest friends. We're pretty tight, and so yeah, I just roomed with him for the whole camp. I was up, it was a short camp. I only had like 4 weeks notice, so I just moved on up there with him, and yeah, we had some fun. He was starting his camp too for Condit, so it worked out good. We're not partying or anything right now, so we're both just handling business, getting to work every day.
Did you guys go on any double dates or anything?
No double dates. No double dates.
Does Chiesa does he ever get laid? I feel like that guy never. I feel like he just like hangs out in the woods with like a hammer and chops wood all day.
He's got a serious girlfriend now, man. Him and his girlfriend live together. He's got a little wife almost now. Wow.
And what about you? You have a girlfriend?
I do have a girlfriend. Yeah. Yep, I got a girlfriend.
How long?
So we actually originally started dating when I was like 18. We dated for quite a while, and we broke up for a little bit, and then we got back together, and I give her a hard time. I say, well, yeah, I get into UFC, then you come crawling back, right?
Of course. Yeah, that's the way they always are. But when did she come with you to Argentina?
She did not. She usually goes on my fight. She went to the Canada one and stuff. This one was it was short notice. Plane flights are like $1,500 round trip out there. So this one just didn't really work out for her. But usually she goes to them. Yeah.
Nice. There you go. When you got home, was she just like going? Now, were you able to have sex with her at all while you were in camp on Kiesa's bed?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't abstain. No, I'm not about that. I'm still getting it in.
But what about Kiesa being like in like the same house?
Well, so I only live like an hour and a half south, so I would come back home, here and there and get it in.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Do.
Of course. Now, was Rick your coach for this, Rick Little?
Yeah, so he was my coach. My dad's always my coach too. Rick had a fight on the one championship fight card the same day as me, and so he had already committed to going to that fight, so he wasn't able to go to Argentina and corner me, but he was my coach for the whole camp.
And what's your background? Did you wrestle in high school or college or?
So no, I was karate growing up. My dad owns a martial arts school, so I grew up doing karate and kickboxing all growing up, and then just kind of evolved into once I got into high school. I had my first MMA fight when I was 15, so it just kind of evolved into that, and then went from there.
I mean, you have some chin, because even like on your contender fight, that guy, they were hyping him, but you were like a zombie. Have you ever even been hurt in any of your fights?
Yeah, dude, there's one fight, you can actually probably find this on YouTube. I got freaking clocked hard, and I went like limp for a second, and then woke back up, and then grabbed him, took him down, and then ended up choking him out. Didn't remember anything that happened. Luckily, the ref didn't really notice it because I kind of got posted up on the cage. So he hit me with the right hand, and my butt just went on the cage, and I kind of was still up, but I was out. And then I just grabbed his legs, woke back up, ended up taking him down, choking him out. That was like the only time I've ever been rocked or anything, though, ever been dropped or anything like that.
Then why did they stop that other fight you had against Sandwagon?
Hey, dude, that was a shitty one. I took that liver shot to the body.
Oh, got it.
He was they kind of added up. He was throwing a lot of body shots, and he kind of wore me down the second round and caught me solid one to the liver and just kind of shut the body down. Not much I could do. It sucked.
Now I was looking at your record. I mean, you at one point you won 13 fights in a row. And how old are you? How old are you now?
I'm 27, just turned 27.
So when you won 13 fights in a row, and were you ever thinking, like, what do I got to do to make the UFC? Am I being overlooked? What is this bullshit? Were you getting frustrated?
Yeah, it was. It was kind of frustrating towards the end because I took a fight like on Titan, which was on UFC Fight Pass, and I won that fight pretty easily. And I thought after that one, I was like, okay, so, I won on a pretty well-known big show on UFC Fight Pass. Should seal the deal. I should be in now. Still didn't get it. I think I still had to go win like 3 more, and then I still didn't even get in. I got on the Contender Series, which is awesome, but still didn't get in. So yeah, it was frustrating. But I mean, I love to fight, and I do martial arts. I mean, I'll do martial arts for the rest of my life, even when I'm done fighting. So I mean, it is what it is. I just kept training and fighting, and that's what I'm going to do no matter what, whether I was going to make the UFC or not. But it was kind of frustrating.
Yeah,
for sure.
I was like, and then I looked at your amateur record. You won 5 in a row. You won 5-1 as an amateur, but you lost your last.
Yeah, that was actually.
Well, go on.
That was a little bit off. I actually went. They just didn't record a lot of amateur fights because you're fighting on reservations and stuff like that all the time as an amateur, so they don't really always get recorded. I fought 20 times. I think I was 17-3 as an amateur.
Wow.
And then but I did lose my last one before I turned pro.
Yeah, which is interesting. You were just like, fuck it, right?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, all my amateur fights, I was fighting guys that were like pro level, and I was still fighting as an amateur. And I lost that one. I was like, fuck this. I'm just gonna turn pro anyway. I don't care. I know I'm ready for it. So yeah, I still turned pro after that.
Nice. I mean, and now are you able to sustain yourself as a fighter, or do you have to take other jobs?
Not anymore. Now I just get a fight. It's nice. Yeah. So I help when I'm home, not training for a fight. I help my dad run his martial arts school, so I teach kids classes and stuff like that. But besides that, no, I don't. I'm just training full time.
Nice. And who do you want to fight next?
I called out Steven Peterson, Superman, after my fight. I think he's an exciting fighter. He brings it. He likes to strike, stands. I think it should be a super fun, exciting fight. I got respect for him, but I'd love to get in there and mix it up with him.
All right. Well, listen, man, your fight was awesome. I was super proud of you. I was super happy for you because you're a guy that I think you're an unsung hero. You're a good guy. You're a nice guy. And I was happy for you,
Thanks,
man. Greg, anything for
Thank you,
Austin?
brother. I appreciate that.
Let me ask you, after you finish a fight, is there any kind of food that you're looking forward to having that you're like, okay, done with camp, done with training? Is there anything you're like, I'm going to fucking eat that the second I win?
Yeah, I'm fucking pizza and ice cream, man. That's all I'm eating
Right?
my fight, that's for sure. Pizza and ice cream.
What
man.
kind of pizza? What's your jam on the pizza? What's your jam on the pizza?
Oh, I like it all. So I'm like a meat lovers guy. So you throw everything on it. You know, bacon,
that's right.
sausage, pepperoni.
Oh.
Just load it with meat.
Load it up.
Some house.
Nice.
Love it.
Nice.
That's the way, because I'm like a fat kid, so that's the way I think about it. Like, if I did all that work, all I'm thinking about is like, okay, the second this is over, I'm going to Popeyes or something like that. You know?
Exactly, dude. It's like it's just a week of just ruining your body after a weight cut fight. It's a week of destroying everything you worked for.
So
That's awesome.
So what was the name of the guy that Rick coached at 1FC?
Tyler McGuire. He actually fought for the Aspen's vacant title over there. He ended up losing in the 5th round. He got caught with the right hand, but it was probably 2-2 going into the 5th round. It was a tough one to swallow. He got caught with like 30 seconds left in the 5th round.
You know there was a guy named Brown Penis on that card?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was. There's a guy named Brown Penis. He actually fought on that card.
What?
Yeah, I swear. Look it up.
You better watch out because Brown Penis might be coming for you too.
Brown Penis, P-I-N-A-S. Brown.
Oh
he beat Johan Fairtex, Dre, with a beautiful spinning back elbow. So I was wondering. I was wondering if you knew about Brown
He
Penis.
was knee deep in a meat lover's pizza by then.
Yeah,
You didn't watch that fight.
Yeah. So. Yeah, Brown Penis is no joke. Just so you know. Well, listen, Austin, good luck with your next fight, man. And next time I have a show, you better come. Not like last time you fucking bitched out.
I know, dude. I won't miss the next one. I promise you.
All right. Thanks, brother. Keep up the good work.
All right. Thanks for having me on, man. Later.
Thank you. Nice kid.
Nice kid.
Yeah.
Good interview. Smart kid. Seems all right. Got his
Yeah,
head
yeah.
on straight.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. He was going to be 0-3 in the UFC. He came
He's
back.
no Bob Sapp, but yeah.
Bob Sapp's fighting New Year's Eve.
Is he really?
Yeah, he wants.
course he is.
He wants to come on the show again.
Yeah.
He got mad at me because, you know how they're making trades now. They traded Ben Askren for Mighty Mouse.
I have to take this.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
So I'm going to step outside.
Yes. All right. So we're calling right now Chito Vera, who won his last fight. Chito Vera. Hold on. No, 514. Let me see what we got. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Hopefully you guys are entertained by that that noise. I gotta work out later, man. You ever just like tell yourself you gotta work out and then you don't? All right, hold on. Here we go. But I gotta the whole day I'm like, I gotta work out. I should just get up early and just work out. But instead, I drive myself crazy, eating all this garbage, feeling my stomach getting bigger when I know I could have just went out and then I wouldn't feel the guilt of eating all this stuff. But I don't know. Life's a bitch, right? This is our first world problems, as they say. All right, so we're calling Chito Vera, who won his last fight. Look great. Chito Vera. Hopefully he picks up the phone. Hello, is this Chito Vera?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Adam Hunter in the MMA Roasted Podcast. How are you?
What's up, bro? All good.
Congrats on your big win, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
I was super. That was awesome.
Okay.
Now, how amazing did that feel, being in Argentina, winning in front of that crowd the way you did?
Well, that feels, amazing. That was a big fight in front of the South American crowd, and people were very unhappy about it, but fuck it, I was really happy.
Now, did you give him the first round just to be nice, and then you were like, all right, I'll let you win the first round, and then I'm going to kill you in the second, though?
Well, I always like to feel, what my opponent got. It looks kind of like he was beating me, but actually, if things don't, if you don't get clipped clean, you won't get hurt. So I was trying to protect myself, see what the guy got, and as soon as I figured it out, I find a way to end with you. So, and that was my plan. Get in there, see the speed, see the power, and after that, get some work. Because sometimes if you start too hard, you can get KO, or you can get tapped out if you start too fast. It's too fast without plan.
But it seemed like you were like, all right, I'm gonna let this guy win around so that he can look good in front of his friends and his family, and then I'm gonna kill him in a second. That wasn't the case.
Yeah, it was something like that. I'm a big study of the game. I'm always watching fights, and I like how John Jones does. Get in there, get a feel. A lot of people throw bombs to John Jones, but he just find a way to don't get clipped. Good defense, because defense is better than offense. If you don't, everybody can punch and kick, but the thing is that when somebody answers, you gotta make sure your defense and your chin is stuck. So that's what I like to do. I gotta get in there, defend some stuff, feel the fight, and after that, let it go and go for the kill.
It was amazing, man. I mean, I was so happy for you. I mean, you've really been on a tear lately. You won your last couple fights. You're looking great. Who do you want to fight next?
So right now, I'm willing to fight in the Anaheim card. So I don't know who's there in the rankings, but whoever want to fight and when I get a hard fight, I put in the show, I'm down. I'm always taking anyone, anytime, like for real. There's a lot of guys that say anytime, anywhere, and then they go in there, they don't do jack shit. I'm not one of those. When I say anytime, it's for real, because I'm always preparing myself. And then I don't have any specific name, but whoever is in there, I'm down to fight.
Now, a couple of fights ago, I remember Joe Rogan talking during your fight about how you weren't taking it that seriously, or like you were kind of not taking training that serious, but now you like kind of redid everything, Chito Vera, and how you're like, you know what? Now I'm actually putting my foot down. It's a whole different Chito Vera. Was that true? Were you not taking it as serious as you should have?
I believe I'm always have been taken very seriously, but I take 2 hard fights and it didn't work my way. I went all the way to Brazil. I fought Lineker.
Yeah.
That was a good fight. I really thought that was a close fight, and I don't think he really beat me. I think he just threw more punches and looked like he would hurt me, because he was throwing just bombs. But I think we will fight again.
Yeah.
If Dominic get hurt for the January fight, I think he won't last with me in this for the second time. And I'm doing everything in my hands to get better and to be ready. I'm eating clean, in or outside camp. I use it as a lifestyle. I'm a very healthy athlete, and then I show up every day to the gym. I'm always making questions. I'm always trying to get better, and I'm the guy that I believe in evolve. If you don't evolve, you're not in the right sport. So I'm just willing to do anything in my hands to be ready and just put in a hell of a fight, because fans like entertainment. Fans like good fights, So yeah, I'm not a leg humper, so let's go.
Yeah, man. Maybe it wasn't Rogan that said that. Maybe it was somebody else. But I remember them. They weren't saying anything bad. They just said that you kind of turned your whole camp around. I forgot who said it. It was like, you know what I'm talking about, though? It was like during one of your fights. It was somebody said something to the extent of you weren't taking.
Well, I think what they were saying is like I did changes on my camp after I take those 2 losses by decision. Of course, I showed toughness. I showed like willing to fight, but something we're missing. After those 2 losses, I changed. I hired Darryl Christian. He's my wrestling coach, and then I hired a new jiu-jitsu coach. So, and then I can see things are paying off. Since I make all those changes, I'm winning a game. I'm still with the same head coach. I'm with Colin Ayama. He's a great striking coach. He knows a little bit of everything, but mainly he's a really good Muay Thai coach, and he knows his stuff. He told me what to do and those things work, but MMA is not just one thing, so you better have overall training and just be good at it.
Yeah, totally. Now, I read that in Ecuador, you're a superhero. Like you're sponsored by Pepsi, and you have billboards everywhere.
Dude, it's crazy. When I go back there, it's amazing to see how people recognize your effort, and Ecuador is a very, very big soccer sport. But I changed that shit. So now people like MMA. Now people know that there's somebody outside the country doing some work, and yeah, it's very big. There's a lot of Pepsi billboards like all over the country, inside the malls. It's fucking huge. So people know that I'm doing the hard work, and people like, because I represent the country. I'm very proud from there, and this is a sport that was handled by Brazilians at some point, now by Americans, and then I'm the only one from over there that I'm putting everything into the sport.
Now, did they give you free Pepsis?
Over there, if I'm there, yeah, but I'm in the U.S.
Yeah.
With the huge billboards, that's it, dude. That counts a lot. That helped me a lot.
Oh my God, I can imagine. And now you're married with 2 kids. One of your kids was very sick, right? She was born with an illness.
I got 3 kids. I got a new one.
Oh, nice! Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Like during this phone call, or just, or
sorry?
Like during this call, you had a new one, like just now, or how?
Oh, I wish. No, but my first daughter, she born with something called Mobius. It's like a face paralysis. So it's not like she's sick or she was sick, but that's the surgery I did in at the beginning of the year. And basically, they make the muscles work in the face, and now she can smile. That's why my team was fighting for the smile, making sure she got it done, and it was expensive surgery, and I got it done with my fist.
That's amazing. And now she's better?
Oh yeah.
That's great.
It's totally fine, she's doing jiu-jitsu every day. Her face, obviously after the surgery, it was completely swollen. It looks pretty bad, but after that, she recovered. She started going to therapy, some massage in the face so the muscle can get loose. And feel good, and now she's good. She go to therapy once a week, but it's just like a regular massage, and then you can see the smile on her face now, and that's all about it. That's something that me and my wife were willing to do. We worked for it, and now she's a beautiful kid. She's gonna smile, and that's all about it,
That's amazing, man. Well, I'm happy that happened. That's really, really great. That's great to hear, because it's amazing that with your fists and what you did, now you're able to pay for your daughter's surgery and she's better. So that's...
Oh, of course, dude. Like the first time I find out it was like 80 grand surgery, I was like, fuck. But then we got to keep it real, In the UFC, you can make that amount of money if you put in good fights and you're ready all the time. So I'm always taking short notices and then putting in big shows. So all the hard work I have been doing pays off. So I got it done, and I like to fight, dude. I like to train, and anytime they call me, I always say yes.
Of course. Now, do you live out in L.A.? Is that where you are up in by? I know Timo Yama's in like Riverside, right? Is that where you live?
Well, Timo Yama is in Irvine, and it's very close to Anaheim, so there's a cart in there. So
yeah,
I hope I'm fighting there soon.
But you moved your whole family to Irvine?
Oh yeah, I came for the first 8 months by myself to train, to get a fight, and get some money to bring them. And then here we are, 3 years later. My whole family is here. We already came here, and now I'm happy. I always take my shit together and do things right, because without that, I would be right now in Ecuador doing nothing. So
Now was it hard for your was it hard for your kids to learn English and kind of adapt to the kids? I know Orange County kids could be kind of dicks sometimes.
Oh, yeah, but if you taught your kids good attitudes and good values, doesn't matter where we go. They understand that kids sometimes are very fucked up. And actually, my own kids, sometimes they say things they shouldn't say, but it is what it is. You have to do the best as a parent to let them know, like things like bully or whatever like that is bad, and just start good values because at the end of the day, doesn't matter where you grow up. It's what you get taught, and my parents always showed me the good stuff. So that's why I grew up good, and my kids are growing up good.
That's amazing. And then what does your wife do for a job? Or does she work?
She don't work, but she just get her degree as a health coach. But basically, she's the one who keeps everything together in my life. So if I'm good, if I'm good, we all good. So she have a real job, but 3 kids alone in the U.S. That's
enough.
That's tough.
That's enough. And then where did you guys meet?
Sorry?
Where did you and your wife meet?
What we need?
Yeah. No, where did you guys meet? Where did you meet your wife?
I don't understand that.
Like you and your wife. Did you meet her at a club or at a bar or online? Did you meet her at the mall?
Where we met? At the school. When we were like fucking 10 years old.
Really? You've been together since you were 10?
Yeah.
You guys
were together since 14 years old.
Wow. That's good. Good for you. Good for you. Good.
Kind of bored, huh?
Yeah, of course. You got to stick with her now because now she's with you when she was 14. Now, does she go? Now, when you go home and people see you on billboards, it's got to be hard. Like women are always probably coming up to you and like, "Hey, wanna look at my titties and my ass?" Does she fight them off or does she bring them home with you guys? What do you guys do?
No, we don't do that actually.
Oh, good. Yeah, stay away from that. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a fun life. We enjoy everything, and we know each other too much.
Good. I like that. This is a great story. I had no idea. Look at you. You're paying for your kid who was sick. You're in the UFC. You're winning all your fights. You're knocking people out. You got a hot wife who's a health coach. You're loyal. You're a faithful guy. Look at you. You're killing it. You're killing the game.
Life is good, bro.
You're killing the game. This is good.
I'm trying to do my best, bro, and I just fucking love to achieve goals. I was listening to Tyson Fury say things like, "Without goals, he get loose," and I'm like that. When I don't have a fight, I don't fight myself because I like to be ready. But you cannot be ready year round because it's hard to be 100% all the time. It's just not healthy.
Yeah.
But I just like to have goals, and I have to like stuff in front of me to fucking crush them.
Good for you, man. I like it. Well, listen, Chito Vera, keep doing your thing, man. I can't wait for your next fight. You want to fight on the January 24th card or 26th card. That's the same card as TJ Dillashaw versus Henry Cejudo. Ben Askren versus Robbie Lawler's on that card. And then hopefully you're on that card. So
yeah, I will try to be there.
Well, thanks, Chito. Thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you.
Anytime. All right, that was Chito Vera.
There you go.
That's a good dude right there.
Yeah.
Anything you want to plug or promote?
Let's see. Coming up December 12th through the 16th, I will be in Vegas at the Stratosphere.
Nice.
And then, let me see, the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, I will be at the El Paso Comic Strip.
Nice.
And I'm doing a private run in Miami on the 19th, and I feel like there's something else in there, but I can't remember. That's what's going on.
And you have a podcast, right?
Yeah, my podcast, Fantasy Football Harsh Reality. If you guys are into fantasy football, check it out. I believe it's on iTunes now and on SoundCloud is my initial spot. You can also follow me on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. I'm always posting the links. So that's a lot of fun. Oh, and if you follow my YouTube, you actually can see the live video replay that I put up there because I actually broadcast it on Facebook Live so I can have people chime in and I can answer the questions. And then I post the video of that on YouTube.
Nice. December 24th to the 30th, I will be at the Stratosphere in Las Vegas, like you.
Oh, wait, one more thing. Sorry, man. New Year's Eve, I'll be at the Admiralty Theater just outside of Seattle.
Nice. November 30th. I'm at the Dirty at 30 at the South Point Casino. Dirty at 12:30, right? And then January 24th, that weekend. I think that's the weekend. I will be in Portland, Oregon, at Harvey's Comedy Club, Portland, Oregon. Well, thank you guys so much. Hope you guys are doing well. Love you guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Oh, also, if you shop on Amazon, go to adamhunter.com first, and then get whatever you want off Amazon.
Trap sonsen, trap dansen. Түүний сонсдог хөгжим дур булаан. Даадаж дуулан дур булаа мууруулаа.